from your experience in this kind of bridge trade corridors, and of course you did these trade corridors in the multinational, now you do it in the Chamber of Commerce, so you have two leverage, or in multiple multinationals, so you have a fantastic knowledge with the trade corridors. So in the beginning you mentioned about technology and the challenge that technologies have. Now we have the relationships, and you mentioned a lot of trust, which we know that is the key element for business. So how do you see this bridge, especially with your experience both in multinationals like Coca Cola and now in one of the leading British chambers of commerce worldwide, and as well in a major economy that is Turkey? I don't know if any notes for people listening to us, because like you said, the challenge right now is how we put the trust, the technology, and the people working together, but we keep building bridges independent of the geopolitics and different things. And that's probably is going to be the biggest challenge for the next generations of businesses, because it's not easy, but at the same time, it's a great opportunity.
Absolutely. And, I mean, our message, to UK companies is, Turkey, strategically is so important, and it's in nobody's interest for Turkey to fail on many levels, whether that be geopolitically, whether it be religious influence, diversity, whatever. And applying my experience from a corporate perspective in making sure that you maximize your opportunity in markets, to the way that we operate in the Chamber of Commerce, it comes back to my point I made earlier. It's having those networks that you can plug into, that I built up over my career as a corporate member, into the Chamber of Commerce network. So if I'm faced with an issue that I can't really resolve myself, I need extra support, I can then call on my network corporate colleagues to bring support and advice on that. So it's a merger then of experience and capability that get us through those difficult issues and provide sustainable solutions. And there is so much going on at the moment, so many dynamics coming into play, that we need those networks which we can draw on to get the best experience and guidance we can to help us on that journey. And as I say, having that background in the corporate environment, I'm more able to bring that to the Chamber of Commerce, that then raises the credibility of the Chamber of Commerce and the trust in the Chamber of Commerce, because I can bring people into play. Now, I can engage with the CEOs of the major Turkish holding companies, the Koçs and the Sabancıs and the others. I mean, where else in an emerging market is there a Fortune 500 company? Turkey has a Fortune 500 company, the Koç Group. It's massive. It represents 11% of the Turkish economy. Now, we have a very close relationship with the family Koç, and the CEOs on our board is a personal friend of mine. Now, all that helps, and I come back to this point about having a network which you can draw on, which you can bring into play when you need to bring them into play. And when you've got so many challenges, and I'm talking Turkey specifically at the moment, what you mentioned, the economy, inflation, the political instability, all these other things, relationship with Russia, the tragedy of Ukraine, are all embedded in this region. And they all have an impact on the future of Turkey. And we want Turkey to be successful. And I think what I want to bring to the party is making sure that we have the best possible knowledge, experience, and capability to help organizations live through these short-term difficult times. Because, as I say, the message that we promote to UK is Turkey is a long-term bet. And if you miss the opportunity in the early days, you'll miss a big opportunity, because things will happen. I mean, because of the lack of trust, because of the uncertainty, because of lack of transparency, investors are just holding back from coming to Turkey, and Turkey desperately needs foreign investment, and that will come once we get a stable, democratic, trustworthy, ethically led government. And that's essential. And that will impact on all the other issues. It'll impact on the economy. It'll impact on Turkey's position internationally. It'll impact on climate change, ESG, all the other things, diversity. And the talent that's in Turkey is always is another enormous value, because you've probably seen the growth, particularly in the tech sector, particularly COVID, and the companies that have grown very quickly and got funding on following Amazon, and it's some of these companies are now operating in the UK and whatever. So the talent is there, the will is there, but everybody's holding back. And once we get through this instability and we get clarity, then Turkey will kick off and become a major player. And that's why we want to keep the narrative positive and keep people engaged so that they don't miss the opportunity. And then obviously I'm more focused on the UK on that score, but it applies everywhere. But I mean, just on another aside, because of our success in Turkey as a chamber, we also work for other countries who don't have a strong trade presence in Turkey. So we've been working with the Australians, we're working with the Irish, with Enterprise Ireland. We're also doing a little bit of work with Brazil. I met with the Japanese Consul General for dinner 2 nights ago. He was very interested to learn about what we're doing, and the Japanese are very capable. They've got a very big team, but they're mostly based on big investments, civil engineering projects. But he was saying to me, we want to get more smaller SME Japanese companies into the supply chain in Turkey. And he was interested to hear what we had to say. So there's lots of dynamics in play there, and we're just sort of waiting to see what happens. And even if it doesn't go the way that we want it to, it will change. It has to change. It's not sustainable. And from I think from all the discussions that we've had, I think we recognise that if we're ahead of the game there in terms of its future, then we're in a good place to be, because it will come. It will come.
It's really fantastic work you've been doing, and as well the relationship of Turkey as well with all the Central Asia is a massive powerhouse that people underestimate, and the geopolitics around the Middle East and so forth, and as well Africa as well. It's a big player in Africa. So there's a lot of layers that people forget about Turkey